Here's a question. Does soap actually kill germs? If you answered yes, you're wrong. And if you answered no, well, you're also kinda wrong. Because what soap does to bacteria and viruses is way weirder and way more brutal than just killing them. It's more like dismantling them at a molecular level and flushing the pieces down the drain. Before we get started, check out the link in the description to download our ebook. Today we're going deep into the science of soap. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you will never look at hand washing the same way again. Let's start with the elephant in the room. Most people think soap kills germs, like some kind of chemical assassin. We use the word antibacterial. We scrub our hands like we're sterilizing surgical equipment, and we assume the soap is doing the heavy lifting by poisoning bacteria and viruses into oblivion. But here's the thing. Regular soap doesn't kill most germs. It doesn't have to. What it does is far more elegant. Soap is a molecular lockpick that breaks germs apart and washes them away. Think of it less like a weapon and more like a microscopic crowbar that pries open the very structure holding these pathogens together. So, if soap doesn't kill germs, what does it do? To understand that, we need to talk about the science of soap itself. Soap molecules are weird little things. Each molecule has two ends, and they couldn't be more different from each other. One end, the head, loves water. Scientists call this hydrophilic, which literally means water-loving. The other end, the tail, hates water but loves oil and fat. That's hydrophobic or water-fearing. So picture this. You've got millions of these tiny double agents, each one with a split personality. One half wants to hang out with water, the other half wants nothing to do with it. Now, when you wash your hands with just water, you've got a problem. Water is great at washing away dirt and some bacteria, but it can't touch oils, grease, or anything fatty. And here's the kicker. A lot of germs, especially viruses, have a greasy outer coating made of lipids. Water just rolls right off them. But when you add soap, everything changes. Those soap molecules rush in and orient themselves around the oily germs. The hydrophobic tails burrow into the fatty coating of the virus or bacteria, while the hydrophilic heads point outward toward the water. They form these tiny spherical structures called micelles. Imagine a bunch of molecular ninjas surrounding a target, all facing outward with their weapons drawn. Inside each micelle is the germ, trapped and disassembled. The soap has literally pulled apart the lipid membrane that holds the virus or bacteria together, and once that happens, the germ is done. It's not dead in the traditional sense. It's destroyed, torn apart, rendered completely harmless, and then the water just washes it all away. Now let's talk about what germs actually are, because not all germs are created equal, and soap doesn't affect all of them in the same way. Bacteria are living cells. They have a cell membrane, sometimes a cell wall, and they can reproduce on their own. Soap can damage bacterial membranes, especially if they have a lipid layer, but bacteria are generally tougher than viruses. The good news is that soap still physically removes them from your skin and washes them down the drain. Viruses, on the other hand, are where soap really shines. Viruses aren't even technically alive. They're just genetic material, DNA or RNA, wrapped in a protein shell. And many of them, including influenza, coronaviruses, and HIV, also have an outer lipid envelope. That's their Achilles heel. When soap molecules encounter a virus with a lipid envelope, they don't just remove it, they obliterate it. The hydrophobic tails wedge themselves into that fatty coating and rip it apart. Without that envelope, the virus can't infect cells anymore. It's like removing the key from a lock. The virus is still there, technically, but it's completely inert. That's why soap is so devastatingly effective against viruses like COVID-19. It's not killing them. It's dismantling them at the molecular level. But here's the important caveat. Not all germs have lipid layers. Some bacteria have tough cell walls. Some viruses, like norovirus, don't have that lipid envelope. Soap still removes these physically, but it doesn't destroy them the same way. That's why proper hand washing technique matters so much. So if soap is this powerful, why do we need to wash our hands for 20 seconds? Can't we just do a quick rinse and call it good? Not quite. Soap needs time to work. Those micelles don't form instantly. The soap molecules need time to find the germs, surround them, and pull them apart. If you just splash water and soap on your hands for 2 seconds, you're not giving the soap enough time to do its job. The 20-second rule isn't arbitrary. Studies have shown that it takes around that long for soap to effectively reduce the number of germs on your hands. Anything less, and you're leaving a lot of pathogens behind. And it's not just about time, it's about coverage. You need to scrub the backs of your hands, between your fingers, under your nails. Germs love to hide in the little crevices of your skin. If you're not reaching those spots, you're not washing them away. Think of it like cleaning a dirty dish. You wouldn't just run water over it and hope for the best. You'd scrub, make sure the soap gets everywhere, and rinse thoroughly. Your hands are no different. The friction from scrubbing also helps. It physically dislodges germs from your skin and gives the soap better access to them. So when you wash your hands, really wash them. Make it thorough. Here's a cool experiment you can try at home to visualize how soap works. You'll need a shallow dish of water, some black pepper, and a drop of dish soap. Sprinkle the pepper on the surface of the water. The pepper represents germs on your skin. Now, dip your finger in the water. Not much happens, right? The pepper just floats there. That's what happens when you wash with water alone. Now put a tiny drop of dish soap on your finger and dip it in the water again. Watch what happens. The pepper shoots away from your finger instantly, scattering to the edges of the dish. That's soap in action. The soap molecules rush to the surface of the water, breaking the surface tension and pushing everything away. It's a simplified version of what's happening on your hands. The soap is surrounding, breaking apart, and removing the germs. Before we wrap up, let's bust a few more myths. Myth number 1. Antibacterial soap is way better than regular soap. Not really. For most people, regular soap is just as effective at removing germs. Antibacterial soap contains extra chemicals like triclosan that do kill bacteria, but studies have shown they're not significantly more effective at preventing illness. Plus, overusing antibacterial products can contribute to antibiotic resistance. For everyday hand washing, regular soap is your best bet. Myth number 2. Hot water kills more germs than cold water. Nope, the temperature of water that kills bacteria would scald your skin. What matters is the soap and the scrubbing. Warm water might feel nicer and help the soap lather, but cold water works just as well. Myth number 3. Hand sanitizer is just as good as soap. Hand sanitizer is great in a pinch, especially when you don't have access to soap and water. And yes, alcohol-based sanitizers can kill many germs, but soap is better at physically removing dirt, grease, and certain types of germs. If your hands are visibly dirty, soap and water should always be your first choice. So why does all this matter? Because understanding how soap works changes how we think about hygiene. Soap isn't some magical germ killer. It's a simple, elegant chemical tool that takes advantage of basic molecular principles. It doesn't need to kill germs because it does something better. It removes them, it breaks them apart, it makes them harmless. And that's incredibly powerful. Hand washing with soap is one of the most effective public health interventions we have. It prevents the spread of diseases like diarrhea, respiratory infections, and yes, pandemics. It's saved countless lives, and it all comes down to these tiny molecules with split personalities doing their job. The next time you wash your hands, take a moment to appreciate what's happening. You're not just rinsing off dirt. You're conducting a molecular-level dismantling operation. You're using chemistry that's been around for thousands of years to protect yourself and the people around you. So, what does soap really do to germs? It doesn't kill them. It destroys them. It rips apart their lipid membranes, traps them in micelles, and washes them away. It's brutal, efficient, and absolutely fascinating. And the best part, you already have this incredible tool at your disposal. You just need to use it correctly. Wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. Scrub thoroughly, rinse well, and know that you're not just going through the motions. You're wielding molecular crowbars against invisible invaders. If you found this video interesting, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the science behind everyday things. Drop a comment and let me know what topic you want me to tackle next. And seriously, go wash your hands. You'll never see it the same way again. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.